Oh, I'm losing power. Well, that is not good. G'day guys, welcome back to the Unimog journey, and what a journey this has been. Now this weathered old truck has been stripped back and cleaned out. We've cut out all the rust and welded in new panels so there are no hidden problems that are going to bite me in the ass down the track. We've had long days and late nights fitting a new turbo, the intercooler, an exhaust, the alternator, and a few other tweaks along the way. And finally, it's had 30 coats of paint to push my OCD to new levels. So it's at a point now where I'm really happy with this truck. You know, with everything I've done, stripping it out and starting fresh, I can see now what this truck's going to look like at the end of the project. So let's get on with this episode, trying to make this big old army truck a whole lot quieter and a whole lot more comfortable for my adventures.
I came from the mud, there's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree, there's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon. Try to catch me howling at the moon. Try to catch me howling at the moon. Try to catch me howling at the moon. Try to catch me howling at the When it rains, it pours. Water's up to my chin. Won't stop fighting to the very end. Many men trying to reach it. Many men have failed. Well, if you wanna get to heaven, you gotta raise a little hell. And I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon. Facing on a sleepless night. Will you find me? Hope you find me. When the sun rises, when the sun we're trying to catch me howling at the moon. Trying to catch me howling at the We're trying to catch me howling at the Trying to catch me. Trying to catch me howling at the
All right, hold up. Let's not rush through this section because although it is quite an easy product to install, or all these products are quite easy to install, they are very critical to get right, to install this stuff in a truck. I mean, this truck is super noisy, it's really hot. So to me, taking my time to get this part right is very important. So I've gone with the car builder's kit, which was suited for this Unimog, or for a Unimog. You can buy a kit, go on their website, carbuilders.com.au, I think it is. You can choose a kit for your vehicle, or you can choose your individual items, give them the quantities and do whatever you want. Now, the kit, I've gone stage 1, stage 2, and then carpet. Stage 1 is, they come in these sizes. I think it's about 400 mil by 550, something like that. Sorry, the boys just went past on their bikes. So yeah, the stage 1 is a foil face and a tar back, and it's a sticky self-adhesive tar. Now that molds over everything, so, and it molds really well. It's real bendy and it's just sticky as, so it'll go over absolutely everything. Get a roller, you can buy the kit, it's got a roller and a knife and everything in it, and you can push it into all the grooves. That's super important. Get that right, and then anything's going to stick to that. So I've done that pretty much from this height down, right up in behind the dash here, because the engine bay is obviously the noisiest and the hottest. And then stage 2 on top of that is, do I need to tell you any more tips? We'll come back to that. So stage 2 is this, what do you call it? It's like a 2mm rubber top on it. And then the bottom is I think it's like a closed cell foam. It's about 10mm. So in total, it's a 12mm thick product. Now this is designed just to chuck in and leave loose, so you can take it off and hose it out or vacuum it out and do whatever you want. I've actually opted to glue this in with the spray adhesive so that I can glue my carpet down. Now it's just a personal preference. I like the carpet and everything to be, you know, molded to shape and be in there nice and tight. I don't want it all flapping around and, you know, being loose. So if you were to have this loose and then the carpet on top, I don't know how well that's going to come out. Might come out really good, but in my experience, I like doing it like this. So I'll show you guys a little bit of what we've done up until now. Chuck that out there. Something that I've found really handy is a really good workbench for a project like this, for the whole truck build. You know, having your tools and everything underneath, having a vise on it, and a big open 2400 by 1200 workbench to cut carpet and everything on has been really good. All right, so here in the truck we've got all the different stages, right? I'll show you. So we've got, that's the car builders, the stage 1. We've got the stage 2, which is everywhere now, and then stage 3 is going to be the carpet. You can see I've done up here in the dash and up on the underside there, I've done the stage 1, and I'm going to stick whatever left I've got of the stage 2, the thick stuff, I'm going to stick it up under here as well. At the moment I've got it up behind the carpet, right up in there, up in here, like I said, because that's where all the noise is coming from. On here I've stuck it directly to there. That's got stage 1 behind it obviously, but behind here this undoes. If you go back into previous episodes you'll know that's a hatch to get at the engine bay. I've opted to put the stage 2 behind that because I want the carpet, I've got this nice lip here, it's about a 4 or 5mm lip, and I want the carpet to be flush with there because I've painted this and I want to keep it exposed. So the carpet on this side will slip underneath that, and then on top of this, so I'll have that nice painted lip there. It's just something that I've opted to do, something I've chosen, and I've still got the stage 2 behind there to keep that heat and the sound out. Now the back wall, this is what I mean, I'm only going to go to this height, and then from here it's so thin anyway, and I don't think there's that much noise coming from there up, even though I've got it on the ceiling. What I really wanted was, I like that I've painted these pillars here, and I want to have that look, that finished look. So what I'm going to try to do, I've never done stretch carpet before, but I'm going to do the whole back wall in stretch carpet everywhere, and then bring the stretch carpet around here to the door trim, but from here up it's going to be painted, same with across the top here. Up here we have to build an overhead console, that's going to be in stretch carpet, and then the roof has to go back in, and I'm going to line that with the stretch carpet as well. So what have I got left to do? I have to do the carpet. The stage 2 is now finished. Now guys, this has taken me basically 4 full days to get to this point. It is time consuming, but it's so important to get it right. And as you've seen in these episodes, I'm pretty particular about everything, and I want it all done like it's finished product, you know. So I could have rushed all this in, but I don't know, I just like to get things neat. I find that you can then follow through with the next stage, and it makes the next stage easier because it's not just all bitsy. Like, so now when I come to this, so you can see here, when I come to do the carpet, I've already got a nice corner here. It's all taped and finished well, as opposed to just having bits of this just stuck on everywhere. Then your carpet wants to go in the cracks and you don't know where the corner is because you haven't brought this right to the corner. It's just finished really well. I don't know, I just like doing it that way. Now, how am I doing the carpet? This is really tricky because there are no parallel edges in the Unimog, except for the sills maybe. So from that sill there and this sill here, even though it's super short, I think they're parallel. But everything else, like this is out of parallel to that, that's out of parallel to that. So what I've done is brought a line in off that sill and then given myself a working line right through. Now I can measure all the individual points. You know, these corners here, like on this side, this corner, the break in there, everything is now measured off that line. So that's just a little tip for you guys, something I worked out along the way to try and make, if you're doing a Unimog build, might make it a bit easier for you. The other thing I found, which I'm going to try on the other side now, I didn't think this was going to work. I thought I'd have to cut this part here completely separate to that. So I've fitted in and I cut along this edge like I knew I would anyway. But now that I've actually installed it, I thought the lines were going to look really bad if it changed direction, but it actually looks really neat. So what I should have done was, because that edge was obviously there like that, I should have added another 80 millimeters, and then this would have been, originally it would have been hanging out here, but then when I did this cut, I would have had that triangle on there. Now I'm going to have to glue a triangle on there, which I think, you know, because I am gluing this all down, I think that will look okay. But on this side I'm going to add an extra 80 mil, which I'll show you guys soon. Hopefully we can pull it off and do it all in one piece, which is pretty cool, because I am very tight on carpet. I don't know if I'm going to have enough carpet. The other thing is this whole setup here. This setup, so when you tilt the cab on these trucks, the whole cab goes up, but this center part here stays. So basically that line all the way around there stays down, and all this will lift up around it. So you can't finish your carpet off really neat, which I want to do. I'd love to mold it all down there really neat and tidy and glue it all down, but I can't because it's a moving part. So what I'm planning to do is finish the carpet really neat up around here, do a miter, glue it all super tight, get a nice finish edge all the way around here, and then this top piece basically going to hinge it along here. So I'll glue it down this face, and then from about here I'll let it come over the top. It'll come over this edge, it'll come over this edge and over the other edge on the other side. Cut it nice and neatly around all these parts, and maybe just have a piece of Velcro here, here and here. Try and do a finished edge on it. I don't know whether I'll be able to bend the carpet back over itself and glue it and clamp it, and that might be neat enough, or whether I'll take this piece to someone and get them to stitch on a nice edge around it. But I think that's going to be the best finish. Then when I lift the cab, I would just be able to hinge that up and tilt the cab up. Thought about that for a long time, and I think that's the best finish. Got to turn the music off so I don't get in trouble. I'm going to start ripping this carpet out and laying the spray adhesive on it outside the truck, spray adhesive the inside of the truck, and then start putting the carpet in, which is pretty exciting. Now I'm at a point now where all the big bits are in, and now I want to glue them down so that I can do all the smaller bits around them. I don't want to start measuring into loose carpet, because you end up with gaps in your carpet then. So I'll show you guys the once I pull this out, the mass noise liner and the finish that I've done, so that you can get your head around. If you want to do a similar job, you can get your head around it, and yeah, just see the detail that we've gone to here. So I'd always suggest too, when you're doing this, now I'm no expert guys, but I have done it before, but I'm no expert. So I'm just saying this for the people who have never done it before, who aren't that good with their hands, or you know, you're just giving it a crack. Good on you. Start with your bottom pieces, the lowest pieces, because then your carpet, say you've got a flat edge here, a floor pan, your carpet's going to come down from a wall on top. It's going to cover any kind of gap you have there. If you go the other way, and it's going to stop, like if you go the other way, say put your wall in first, butt your carpet up to it, you're always looking down and you're going to see that gap, and sand and grit and everything's going to fall in there. So if you want to have like a nice tightly finished job where you're not seeing any gaps, try and do it the other way. Floor first and work your way up with your wall panels and stuff. That's what I recommend. I'm going to laugh if car builders comments or sends a message and says no, do it the other way. And if you guys want to support what I'm doing, not just here in the truck, but you know, up north with all the adventures I go on, we've just got these new caps. These have been coming in. Fishing shirts could be there as well. These have been coming in for like 8 months. We've been working on these things and I absolutely love them. This one's hammered, it's got grease all over it because it's been a big part of this truck build, but get yourselves a brand new Mud Crab Wild Reaches cap at wildreaches.com/shop. Thank you very much, legends. So you can see I've cut right in past that little, anyone that has a Unimog knows there's like a step in there. I've cut into that and then screwed the cover on to really pull it in while the glue dried. The carpet's going to come right through to here on the inside. And yeah, you can see I've taped all the joins right up under there, around the steering column. Obviously left these open. These are our bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts there to undo the cab from the chassis so you can pivot it up, tilt it up. I've taped all the joins with this car builder's tape, which is like a reflective tape, which should reflect any heat, not noise obviously, but any heat that's trying to come through in those joins. I suppose maybe a bit of noise, I don't know, but all the joints are taped. I've come up the back wall with it as far as I could go, and back down the other side. I'm absolutely wrapped with how this carpet's come up. Alright guys, as always, this episode today is brought to you all by Shervey Power Products. Now, this little system here is not a Shervey Power product, but you know, being out here, I'm on Bardu Island at the moment in the Torres Strait Islands, really remote, and I'm trickle charging my GoPro batteries, the laptop, you know, trying to transfer files on the from SD cards to hard drives and stuff, all running off this tiny little solar panel, and I'm struggling. And it's really made me appreciate the Shervey system that is in the back of my 79 series cruiser and how simple that makes my life on the road when I'm filming. So thank you to Shervey. Now Shervey Power Products, that's what they specialize in, right? So they'll build these plug and play systems from small right up to big ones, to go from like the back of a tradies ute to run everything on site, right through to, you know, a big system that goes in like mine, a 79 series cruiser, or whatever your adventure vehicle is, a big caravan, something that's going to live off grid and power your adventures, you know, for 12, 18, 24 months, whatever you want to do. Shervey Power Products has you covered. So thank you, Shervey Power Products, for having me covered, for getting me out here into these remote locations and helping me to film what I do, sharing my adventures and this amazing culture that we have here in Australia and the Torres Strait Islands out there with the world. If you need to set up for your ute or for your caravan, your Land Cruiser, whatever you're doing, drop in and see Shervey Power Products. Adventure Concepts have their gear, or check out sherveypowerproducts.com.au, or look them up on Instagram, Facebook, all that, they're everywhere. Okay, let's get back to it. You saw the way I folded that over just to give it that bit of extra strength and thickness on the edges, and that's just sitting there. It's not hinged up here like I was going to do it, because I actually ran out of carpet for that back piece there, and it's not velcroed on there. I don't think I'll bother. It sits there so nicely. So that's that done. Now we need to do this back wall. The other thing that happened, and you can probably tell by the sound in here, is the glass is now in. I was going to film that for you guys. I had the guy booked yesterday for 10 o'clock to come and help me put this windscreen in, and he showed up at 9 whilst I was out, and he threw the windscreen in, got the 2 back windows in before I even got home, so I couldn't film that for you guys. The glass is in, and the truck feels really, it's really soundproof in here, even with the door open. So I'm stoked. But yeah, today I need to learn how to put this stretch carpet on the back here. I'll go grab a piece in a sec and show you guys what's going on here, but it is a car builder's product. It's a 4-way stretch carpet, and apparently you can just mold it over anything. So using the spray adhesive from car builders and the 4-way stretch carpet, I'm going to tidy up this whole back wall and up these pillars to this height, and then we'll move on. Then we'll move on with the ceiling. Alright, that is the end of a massive day. You probably can't see it too much because the sun's glaring through that rear windscreen there, but I'll take some proper video and show you guys what it's looking like. It's a tough product to work with, but it is so cool. This 4-way stretch carpet, being able to mould it over everything. The back of the cab now looks like how it should look, which I'm stoked with. And it should be soundproof with all the layers that I've got underneath it. I'm really excited. So tonight I'm going to tweak a few little bits and pieces, and then tomorrow we're going to buy the ply for the ceiling and put this 4-way stretch carpet on that, and then reverse it out here and shut the doors and see how quiet it is. Alright, let's stop there for a sec. I want to share with you guys one of the tools, or a couple of them, but one in particular that I absolutely love, that you might not have in your tool set, and is going to make projects like this Unimog build, or any build you're doing, just that little bit easier. Now, there's obviously building a big truck like this, there's lots of things you've got to switch up. Like the torque wrench, for example, I normally have a 1/2-inch torque wrench that goes to about 220 Newton meters of torque. I've had to upgrade that to this monstrosity of a thing, which is a 3/4 and goes up to 550 Newton meters of torque to get my wheel nuts on safely. So things like that you're going to have to upgrade. But the main one that I want to share with you guys today is, actually here's another good little one, fellas here, which are really handy for taking off your trip and clip removers. So taking off those internal clips on all your ceiling lining and door cards and all that sort of stuff. You can get this behind the clip and pop it off without snapping them, which is really critical. 2 sizes. I also use that for pushing in the 4-way stretch carpet, which was really handy. But the big one I want to share with you guys is a nut cert tool, I think it's called. Basically like a big pop rivet gun, but you can thread on these nuts, which act like a rivet. So you get all different size heads, and this just acts like a pop rivet gun. Basically compresses your nut inside your hole. So you'll see me use it. I used it up in the ceiling. I used it on the door cards. I use this thing everywhere, and I absolutely love it. And before I knew about it, I just struggled with so many things. And then I found this and I was like, of course, this thing is brilliant. So like I say, you get different size nuts or nut certs for different size bolts, depending on the job you're doing. That simply just winds on there. Keep that open. Wind that on to a certain point, and then you put it up in the hole and push it, and it compresses, locks in there super tight, and then that's it. You've got a threaded hole. So it's just much easier, quicker than tapping a thread into something. And yeah, you can drill them out and redo them if you have to. And that is just king chrome from Bunnings. You buy these from Bunnings, all the different sizes, but just a really handy tip for you guys, something that saved my ass with this build and with lots of other projects.
Have eyes and they're shaking their fists. Truth is, I'm done telling myself I'm a man without regret. 'Cause there's a ghost in the radio that keeps it on repeat. There's a demon in the bottle trying to drag me to my knees, and I can't afford to fall apart every time we meet. Oh, there's a ghost after me. And his hounds have caught my scent, and I beg the angel Gabriel for a quick and painless death. Truth is, I'll be running.
All right, I'm going to talk to you guys about something. This may look like the grill and the bar are fitted, but unfortunately they're not. The grill, this is something that I picked up on before my last trip up to Kawanyama. A couple of days prior to going, I had the grill mounted and I picked up this center, the winch plate, held it up and sat it on the chassis, and I could see that it was going to hit the bottom of the grill here. And I just thought I'd think about it over a couple of weeks while I was away. Came home, did the exact same thing, and I realised, because there was no instructions even when I bought this thing, when I bought the winch plate, you know, it came with, I don't know how many pieces, so many pieces, but there were no instructions on how to fit it. So I just sort of followed my nose and got it done. And when I came home, I realised it had to be packed up 20 mil from the chassis as well, or about 15 mil. So there's packers underneath here, under these bolts, that actually lift it about another 15 millimeters. So then it was definitely not going to fit. So I took a photo of it just sitting in there against the grill, sent it to the company I bought this from, and said, I can't see how this is possibly going to work. Can you send me some instructions? And I was told to take the grill off, fit the whole front bar, which is what I've done here, fit the whole thing together, and then the grill should fit. And I was like, look, I'll do that and I'll send you a video, but I still can't see that it's going to fit. So I did it, pulled the grill off, fit the whole front bar, and then confirmed that there's no way the grill was going to fit. I then sent a couple of videos and I had a call from the owner who sold me these parts. And I'm not going to get into like, yeah, I'm really, really pissed off. Like this is, like, I don't know, $9,000 worth of gear and it's not fitting together. I had a call saying, but I'm not going to bag it. I'm not going to bag them out because they're a brilliant company and they're making absolutely amazing gear. And I'm really happy with the product. Normally you'd get this fit in-house and you wouldn't have these issues. Sorry, someone's just pulling up. Sounds like my sister. Make this quick. Basically, I had a call from the owner saying, no, they're not compatible. They're not going to go together. You're going to have to cut your grill. And that's very frustrating because I rushed to get this grill, drove all the way down there to pick it up, out like 3 hours away, because I wanted to paint it at the same time as painting the cab so that it was all the same batch of paint. It's all finished now, but now I have to get the grinder out and cut the grill. And they did offer for me to drive down and they'd get their fiberglass guy to cut the grill and patch it the best he could. comes back to the very beginning when I said I'm going to cut the rust out myself because I like things done my way and I want this truck to be finished the way that I want it. So I'm going to get the grinder out now and cut this grill to drop it down behind the front bar and make this work. So I'm going to show you guys what I'm going to do. Basically, I've sat this grill exactly where it's got to sit. It won't go down any lower, but I can take some measurements. It's parallel now with the front of the truck. It's got to go back 10 mil and down 20 mil or 25 mil. So now I can mark underneath here on both sides. This is the problem, right? So this is what is going to cut into the grill. And I'm hoping once I do it, this part here is just going to drop down behind that and there shouldn't be an issue. Now the reason I've gone with this big grill, this big front bar, I think I told you guys this when I was talking to the owner of Unidan. He said if you're going to use this grill, this option, the Gen 2 grill, because it sticks out so far, which is great for the intercooler. You see that space between the intercooler and the grill. Normally, if you don't go with the Gen 2 grill, you've got to cut your grill around the intercooler and it still rubs on it. And the sort of corrugations and stuff this truck's going to be going on, you're eventually going to ruin your intercooler. So I've chosen to go the Gen 2 grill to give me that space. Now, because I've done that, the owner of Unidan said you have to go with this front bar because it sticks out further than the other front bar that I'd chosen, which gives you plenty of room here, hopefully, to mount the winch. So I've marked under here on both sides, and now I'm going to take it away and do a slot on both sides following those angles, and it should drop down in there. Do a bit of a test run. I might have to cut a little bit more off, and then I suppose I'll shoot into town and get some fiberglass mat and stiffen it all back up. I'm hoping it's just going to be like a 20 mil slot by 20 mil deep, 25 mil deep, and it will just sit in there nicely. Obviously, to tilt the cab, none of this moves because it's bolted to the chassis, but all of this being bolted to the cab will come forward, and this is all going to foul up, which you probably have to do anyway with every truck, but I'm going to take the grill off to tilt the cab, which is no big issue. You just pop the bonnet off, pop the grill off. That takes like a minute. And yeah, but I just wanted to fill you guys in on, I didn't want to not tell you guys because you know, you might watch this episode, you might be doing a similar build and you might go and buy these exact components and have the same problem I've had. I wasn't told that this was going to be a problem because apparently they didn't know. So I'm here to tell you guys that it is a problem and you're going to have to cut it unless after this issue Unidan will they'll be aware of it. So the problem is I don't have a cab lift, and they were aware of that, but I don't have a cab lift in this truck, and that's why we've gone with this grill. Normally these grills go down even further and come back up, and they were aware that people were installing these on trucks without cab lifts, so they changed, well, they gave you a second option, which is a grill with a flat bottom so that you don't have an issue there, but it then doesn't go with their front bars. So if you are going to buy the Gen 2 grill and you don't have a cab lift, you will run into this problem. Hopefully it's no biggie. Let's get it sorted.
There's a
This is absolute bullshit, I reckon, having to chop up this grill this late in the build. You know, it's one of the last things I want to be fitting, that and the bar work, the winch, the lights, all that finishing stuff, and I'm back with an angle grinder fucking up my paintwork. Now I've got to fill this with something because it's hollow, so some kind of foam, I suppose, and then fiberglass it, and then repaint it. It's just a shitty oversight that's costing me a lot of time and money. And it just shouldn't happen. This shouldn't happen. Not when you're spending this kind of money. That's a win. It is, well, not a win, but it's on, as you can see there. Now, unfortunately, it looks shit around these. The reason I've had to give it so much under here, I've given it room everywhere there to, one, when you put this on, you've got to like put it on a big angle and then tilt it back into position, and so you need that space there. The other thing is this cab is going to move a lot independently of the chassis, so I'm going to have to keep an eye on this and make sure I have given it enough space, being that you can't rely on, you know, the design. So I might put a GoPro on the front actually and go for a bit of a drive and see how much movement is in there, and if it's okay as it is, I'm gonna, I think I'll use, like, I might go and ask a Fiberglass, a friend. That's probably the best way to do it, but I imagine it'll be load that up with like expander foam and then cut it out nice and neat and then fiberglass it, and then I'm gonna have to spray, just hopefully I can patch it, like just spray this bottom run here. I'll probably have to sand off the clear coats, and I don't know, I might have to sand the whole thing back and respray the whole grill. But anyway, at this stage, at least it's on. The next battle, which has been an ongoing thing since before I sprayed the truck, and I've showed you guys this before, these grills have a brilliant system to hold it on. Like, everything has to be really fast and easy to get off, and the way they've done this grill is great. What you've got is this locator pin. So at the bottom you've got a tab where it just sits over it, and then you push the grill up and it locates into that pin there. So that's a locator pin going into a factory hole that's already in the front of this quarter panel. And then at the top you've got these latches, which are really cool if they worked. This side works, driver's side is great. So you literally just hook that over that hook and pull it back, and it pulls it in nice. I've got to adjust that. Anyway, I'll adjust that in a sec, but yeah, they're adjustable, pulls that in nice and tight, but this side doesn't work because of the radiator. I don't know why. This seems to be, all the Unimog forums I've been on, this is, all the radiators look the same. Again, I think these are designed for, which is crazy, these are designed for a truck with a body lift, but this grill is actually made for a truck without a body lift. That's why it has the flat bottom and not, so another oversight there. But if I had a body lift, this wouldn't be an issue. It would miss that radiator. So what I'm going to do is get the grinder out again and the welder and try and fabricate using this existing bracket, try and fabricate it to suit. And then I can go for a drive, take it down to diesel at Mission Built and see how the boys are going with the canopy. All right, let's take this thing for a spin, see how much more power it's got, and how much quieter it is. It's already so much nicer in here. What's going on? There we go. All right, now we can't go too far because between you and me, I still don't have any guards on the back or a tray, so it's not quite roadworthy, but yeah, it's definitely got more up and go. Yeah, you can feel that turbo kick in now. Oh, it's so much better. It's so much quieter. Like if there's someone in here, you can actually talk to each other now. There is a bit of a noise coming from over behind the camera there. Like engine noise. We'll stop up here and have a look. Even this hill, so this hill, I'm in 7th gear right now. It's only got 8 gears, and before I'd have to change to at least 6 to get up that hill and like be revving its tits out to get up it. Just seems to have way more pull, which is what, you know, you'd expect out of your turbo. You feel it in these big diesels. You feel a bit sluggish until that turbo kicks in. Same thing, this hill's even steeper. Haven't changed gears. That turbo and potentially the intercooler and the exhaust has made such a difference. And definitely soundproof with all this car builders, the 2 layers and the carpet. Love it, love it. Oh, it's so much nicer to drive. Even just looking around and like seeing the nice carpet and these nice seats, you know, the paintwork around, like it just, I don't know, I just feel better driving and I feel like I'm actually proud of this truck. Alright, we'll shoot down here. Alright, so that's 80 k's an hour. And I've got an issue. Oh, I'm losing power. Shit. Oh man, it was all going so good. All right. Well, that is not good. Just started losing power and then it just cut out. I'm on the side of the road. So that sucks. I'd say it's a fuel issue because I have had a, we had to change a T-piece in the fuel line that goes up to the injector pump and it was causing me issues like similar to this. So I should be able to get this going. I'm just going to hit that primer and pump some more fuel up in there and get it going again. But this truck, so it's definitely extremely hot in here still. It is December, so obviously it's going to be stinging hot anyway, in any car with your windows up, but it needs aircon. It needs something. I don't know if it's coming through from the engine bay or whether, like I can actually feel it in the vents, and Mog Central have sent me a, like a gate valve to shut off your heater hose that continuously cycles up here into the cabin. And up here in North Queensland, you do not want that in your truck. So I'm going to put in this gate valve and hopefully shut off a bit of the heat that's coming from the engine bay that way. But I reckon even then I'm going to need aircon in here. So that's going to be the last battle that I'm going to have to do, is try and come up with some sort of solution because they are so expensive to do. But as far as the sound goes, I've just noticed, like at that noise that I said I heard, this mass noise liner has come away. You can see it's loose there. That's actually come away from the firewall. And I reckon, that's interesting, I actually ran out of the car builder's, what's it called, the adhesive in the can, the spray adhesive, and I used another brand there, it might have been Sellies or something like that, on those two pieces, and they're both coming loose. And I actually did this piece in it as well, so I pray that that doesn't come down. But yeah, that's interesting because it didn't feel as good a product when I was spraying it on. It just didn't have the same properties as the car builders one. So I'll put that back on with the car builders. I'm sweating my ringer out in here, but I'm very happy with the power the truck now has, with the soundproofing that we've done, with the look of the truck and the comfort of it. It's all epic except for the heat. It's still bloody hot. But yeah, I'm stoked. Hope you guys have enjoyed the journey up to this point. Now we need to build this overhead console. So up here I'm going to have the overhead console with the UHF, the stereo, switchboard, things like that, maps and all that. I need to wire up all the lights on the front bar, the light bar on the top, spotlights on the bar, the side lights. Obviously out the back there we still have to do the tray and the canopy. The team Mission Build are working on that now. So there's still heaps more to go. That'll be in the next episode. New wheels, new tyres, bit more paint on the tray and everything, and then we're done. But that'll all be in the next episode. So thank you for watching, guys. If you like what you're seeing, make sure you subscribe to Wild Reaches. Normally I'm out in the middle of nowhere, living off the land with all Indigenous tribes around Australia, having a good time. That's normally the content, but there will be little bits of this kind of stuff slipped in. Whatever excites me, basically, I'm going to do. So if you're enjoying it, subscribe. If you've enjoyed this Unimog build, you got any questions, if you're doing one yourself, make sure you comment below and I'll get back to all of you. And if you know a mate with a Unimog, make sure you share this with them and hopefully they can learn something along the way, as I've learned along the way. All right, guys, see you next week. And this guy down here is the one you're looking for. That's where your glass filter is. You want to prime that back up. All right, we have lift off. I'm just still priming it, just to help get enough fuel back into that fuel pump. I can feel it stiffening up now. So that's enough to get me home and just sort this issue out. All right, that's sorted for now. Still just as bloody hot in here. Still love this thing. This is what it's all about though, spending these 6 months building the truck and doing these drives and finding out all these little things about the truck that you need to tweak before you get way out there into the wilderness where there's no help. I don't just want to glaze over all the little details too, like who made these seats and this ceiling that I'm absolutely stoked with, like all these finishing touches I'm going to go over in the next episode as we're wrapping up this build and show you the detail in these amazing seats. Show you, what I've done here on the ceiling and how that all ties in with the overhead console. We'll do all that in the next episode.